Hey there, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Hearts of Iron 4 with the Old World Blues Fallout Overhaul mod. This has received some updates since the last time I played. We're now up to version 4.1 point something. Tandi's Legacy and then Broken Chains are the names of the big updates. They are picking up some of the features from By Blood Alone and add in a bunch of new national focus trees. Awesome, let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm specifically looking to play in, I think, Colorado, so I'm not too interested in some of these options we have here. Let's go to our manual selection. I want to try playing with the Maxson Expedition. This is, of course, a Brotherhood of Steel faction, which, of course I'm going to play with the Brotherhood. I almost always do. How could I say no? It's led by Andrea Brixley, who's apparently very good at building fortifications. We've also got the Bunker Blues, which gets us a few extra bonuses, especially dealing with bombs or insurgents, and the Bizarre? Construction speed, appeal to refugees, and an extra +5, extra +5. I don't know what that means. I don't even know who the Maxson Expedition is supposed to be, but it should be fun. Let's jump into it. No Iron Man mode. We've experienced that the hard way before. Let's just jump in and see if these guys are any fun. There are actually quite a few other little nations that got some new national focus trees. I think the Chained Choir is one over here. I know Robot City is one of them, who is led by Doki Doki. Uh-huh. Okay, well that's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, a few little guys got some updates as of late, but for now, the Maxson Expedition should be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at the national focus tree. We have our departure from the west. It's gonna take 7 days, and we'll get ourselves a little bit of story. Looks like we start with a little bit of Paladin power armor, which is great, plus some Knight infantry. No idea who we're gonna be fighting at the very beginning of the game, so let's not worry about that too much. We'll just put a quick little Paladin leader in charge. You're fairly balanced. We'll take you, plus a Field Marshal. Andrea herself will do just fine. As far as some research, oh gosh, I gotta remember how you actually play this game again. We've got a lot of advanced research. That's great. We're not so sophisticated on special forces, vehicles, or robotics, nor on, unfortunately, aircraft, navy, industry, electronics, etc. But we're really good at power armor, support companies, and infantry. That suits me pretty well, honestly. For now, let's go for some basic research speed, plus we'll pick up some construction speed and I guess some production efficiency cap, because why the heck not? As far as some construction, not really gonna go wrong, I think, with some civilian factories, even though our infrastructure is kind of terrible, but I think we'll live with that. And that's kind of all there is to do for the moment, so let's go ahead and bumper on up to speed 5. Looks like we've got a few UI updates since the last time I looked at that. I don't remember seeing icons looking quite like this. It's a little bit pixelated and harder to make out, but I'll work with it. Caps update. Yeah. I've already played 4.0. Just give me 1,000 bottle caps. Thank you. I don't actually know what I'm doing with them, but that's beside the point. All right, personal log. The expedition's beginning. This is Paladin Commander Andrea Brixley recording a personal log to make sure if I don't pull us through this, someone knows what happened. Sitting back in her chair, Andrea sighs and runs a hand through her short cropped hair. Going on, she begins with, "We all had high hopes at the start, heading out east. The elder from Lost Hills chosen to lead the expedition, Elder Cameron, was a good leader, well respected, and he had seen plenty of combat. I was chosen to come along to lead my paladins and knights in case we were attacked. I remember there was a debate over what resources the expedition was to be given. Do we want manpower, advanced American? Ooh, I like that it's American specifically. Advanced energy weaponry and T-45 power armor, or... Okay, do you want more equipment or manpower? I've only got 968 manpower, but you know what? I'm gonna go with the equipment. I feel like that's gonna be a little bit harder to come by. Manpower is a really precious resource in Fallout stuff. If you aren't familiar, Old World Blues is kind of hard to get, but that's okay. Anyway, 7 more days and we get snapping at our heels. Doggos! Our arrival into Colorado was without fanfare. The tribes and settlements near our destination had warned us that our goal was guarded by vicious hounds, the Hang Dogs. Ooh. Those are these guys, right up over me. Elder Cameron wasn't a fool, but... Andrea's hand clenches into a fist before going on. None of us knew the scale of the foe we were about to face. We had entered Denver, but we had only encountered scavengers, no sign of the foe we were told to expect. Some of us were unnerved, but most assumed the raiders had been driven off or destroyed before our arrival. A bitter grimace forms on Andrea's face and she shakes her head back and forth. If only we were so lucky, Andrea says, pausing to collect herself before going on. The first night after we had set ourselves up, they were making plans for the expedition's first tasks. That was when they were attacked. It was a massacre. We were forced to retreat over the river with what little we could carry with us. Our only hope was the bunker. I lose political power and stability. Dang it! There's no options there, I just have to live with it. Boo! Alright, Senator Peterson's bunker. Who's Senator Peterson? Now, I'll just remind people, I do not consider myself even slightly to be an expert in all Fallout lore, and by all, I mean very little. So if I miss a few references here and there, I'm sure you guys are gonna let me know in the comment section down below, right? That's how I get video engagement, right? Anyway, personal log, our refuge. Elder Cameron had been wounded badly during the battle and retreat, but still managed to lead us southeast. He knew there was a bunker we could take shelter in while we regroup. Shattered and depleted, our expedition fled across the river, the hounds of the hangdogs right behind us. A fighting retreat to a bunker we hoped wasn't occupied, or for all we knew was destroyed during the Great War. I had hoped our luck had finally turned when we arrived and found it not only intact, but still secured and well stocked with supplies, and one last disaster to nearly destroy us. I mean, this seems pretty good so far. We get a free factory in a couple different categories, plus a bunker. I'll take it. Seems all right. Seems okay. What are you complaining about? The Schism. Madness of the Underground. Oh no, I'm gonna have to choose one side or another in a minute? That don't sound no good. Do we want some scavenged power, armor, and energy weapons? Anything else? Caravan equipment? Hello. Are these gonna be like trains? I haven't messed with that before. Support equipment seems pretty good. We'll need that. At some point I'm gonna wanna get planes. I imagine we can create, ooh. It's still a variant system? I don't get to design my own planes, or is that just how the glider works? We'll find out, but I'm hoping we get to design our own planes. That'd be kind of fun. Let's start producing a little support equipment just in case. Apparently the last round of patches, support equipment of all supported companies are a little bit better than they used to be. So we'll see what happens with that. No one is sure how a senator got his hands on a shipment of stealth boys, but the elder thought we could use them to scout across the river and find more of our scattered expedition. The senior and most experienced of us, those that were still alive, were sent out with a sack full of the devices to help cross the river and survive in the hangdogs' territory. In the weeks and months that followed, they managed to bring back as many of our brothers that they could find. Things seemed to be getting better, but maybe that hope blinded us to the truth. Elder Cameron had miraculously recovered, enough to walk without assistance, and our recovery teams were returning. I went out of the bunker with the Elder to greet them, but something was very wrong. It had been worsening inside of them for a time, but the recovery teams were suffering from overuse of the stealth boys. They didn't believe the Elder was alive, and after a tense argument, weapons were drawn. I couldn't believe my eyes when a Paladin put a round through the Elder's torso. Our side fired back while the recovery team members began to scatter and fire wildly. Not just us, but even at each other. With the death of Elder Cameron and the scattering of most of our senior knights and paladins, I have become the highest ranking brother left. The expedition now succeeds, or fails, by my efforts. Check the decisions tab, look towards the Boulder Dome to cure their condition. Regaining the lost members of our chapter would be far better than having to put them down. Interesting. All right, so I lose recruitable population and stability because we are the outcasts of steel. That's kind of a cool title there. So look towards Boulder Dome. We want to go to Boulder Dome, huh? And that, I think, is all the way up over here. The glow bugs? That's kind of a long journey. I could try to fight through the scorpions and the hangdogs to get up here. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain. So let's take a look at those decisions. What are we talking about? The circle of steel and put down the circle. Hello, there's progress to be made in Robot City, Bastion, and New Sterling. So that's a scorpion bite over here. There's Robot City, and New Sterling is the Iron Alliance up over Mya, who is not, I mean, it looks like they have some form of power armor, but these guys are obviously not proper Brotherhood of Steel. They're not intellectuals. Okay, so we have decisions to make. Production cost, reliability. Troopers pack, get an event, the Drury go-round, gain a core on Walsh. We need to hold on. First off, where the frick is Walsh? That's kind of important. I need to know where that is. This is Walsh. Okay, we have a single factory being built over here, a little bit of a population. Getting a core on that, not the worst thing in the world. Also not super important. Getting some construction speed would let me start scaling up my economy just a little bit. Looks like there's a lot more factories and equipment to get there. Some extra resources, we like that. There's a lot of reinforcement. I'm a little concerned that there's so much to be building with bunkers. Does this mean we're gonna get attacked? I suspect it does. Infantry equipment and reliability, punching through steel. Anti-tank weaponry. Get the claims on Robot City. Ooh. And the Scorpion Menace. So through this route, we'll be able to start conquering. Through this route, we build some economy. I don't know what this all means, but more cores are good, and this is where I'm building a lot of factories, so I guess we'll start with this. It's only 15 days, so that's not too bad for me. My question is, what is this? If this is not completed, there's a chance we lose stability, political power, or nothing happens. Put down the circle. Manpower, we need to lose some power armor and infantry equipment. We get some of that back. Lose some stability. Remove the outcasts of steel. It would be better to bring these guys back in, is what it said, if we can find a way to help our people. So I'm gonna try to find a way to work my way up toward Boulder and see if we can help these guys recover. That either means I need to go for some really aggressive conquests, or it means that we are what? It means that we're gonna have to find a way to put them down, maybe, or just suffer with some penalties for at least a year or two. I'm not too sure. Can we possibly do at least a little bit of training? Now, these guys are already regulars. That's pretty good. What are we missing in terms of equipment? Anti-tank weaponry. Aha. New traits are available. There are quite a lot of these. I will come back to that in a little bit. Let's just jump forward for a second, get some much needed cores, get some manpower, see if we can get these factories up and running at full speed here, which will be pretty helpful for us. As far as like my construction, we only have 3 factories set to consumer goods right now. That's not too bad. The dreary go-rounds. Whoa, careful. This menu is a little bit too tall for the screen. It's a shimmying and shaking. There we go. All right. Andrea wasn't sure what she was looking at. Ostensibly, it was a Brotherhood reconnaissance trooper, but judging from the reports, he was far more than that. In the retreat from Denver, him and a few dozen men were separated by a raider ambush and ended up on the wrong bunker entirely. It was a pre-war ration stockhouse just south of Chuka's Peak that had miraculously been mostly undisturbed since the bombs fell. So he and the men camped out got inside it, but the bunker transmitter working and put out an SOS signal. That all seemed simple enough, but there were a number of peculiarities with the man himself. Firstly, his armor was heavily modified, sporting bandoliers, satchels, and some kind of helmet-mounted infrared scope, and mounts for a ghillie net. Secondly, he refused all requests at his actual name, and everyone he had led to the stockhouse revealed they didn't actually know it. Even his holotags had been tampered with. Thirdly was his manner of speech. He'd picked up something of a wastelander's accent and all the informal dialect that came with it. This is clearly an intruder of some sort. The question is he a good intruder that we can use, or is he gonna be a bit of a liability? I don't know. Whilst Andrea was lost in thought about the odd man, he had been standing at an increasingly uncomfortable attention. Need anything else, Miss Paladin Commander? She corrected. There was no Miss Brixley in this bunker. Sorry, Paladin Commander. The only other issue is what we're going to do with the food. There's a ton of it down there. Oh, that sounds good. Bottle caps or 100 manpower? That's not a lot of manpower. 100 manpower is like very little. I'll take the bottle caps. 100 manpower is not bad per se in Old World Blues. It's just not a lot. So we could go for this entrenchment boost, which isn't bad. Or we could start working toward maybe punching through some places. We are kind of missing anti-tank weaponry to get up to full strength, aren't we? Could fight against robots, or we could go ahead and fight against the scorpions. Never lose it again. Weapon recovery with army equipment production. We still have a mission. Complete something, either destroy Robot City or the Scorpions. One of the two, then become Colorado Knights, which makes us stronger, and we have a chance to fight the Hangdogs. So it's a question of which do we want to fight. Do we want to fight against the robots, or do we want to fight against the Scorpions? Great question. These guys are old world criminals, primarily. We suspect they have 1 to 3 divisions. The robots led by Doki Doki, who has our new best friend modifier, Love Bully Funny. What the frick does that mean? I don't know. Has potentially a lot more. Well, how many factories does we think he has? 3 to 8, 2 to 5, as opposed to 2 to 6, 5 to 10. I mean, I ultimately want to take out both. It'd be probably... It's not going to be much easier to take on either, to be honest. There's a river crossing no matter what we do.
What can I do for
I'm
you?
kind of leaning toward, well, what's going to be the easiest way to fight against the hangdogs? Honestly, the robots have the best borders with which to fight. Unless we want to use the river to our advantage. Huh. Maybe we could fight against the robots. But we would want to pull them across a river so that I can surround and kill them and then make a beeline through to Robot City. That'd be pretty tough. For now, let's go for the Scorpions. I think that's going to be a little bit easier to work with, and I'll take what I can get, thank you very much. We do need to get some upgrades there, but we'll worry about that in a little bit. We need to hold on for construction speed. It sounds pretty good, if I'm honest. We would like to train more troops if I can. Some night patrols. We can't afford very many, but I'll take the 2 that I can get. What are we missing for this? Infantry equipment and anti-tank weaponry. See, I'm gonna get some infantry equipment. The question is, do we need the anti-tank? There's Lanius doing his thing. If we want to get some anti-tank, the easiest way to do that is to start getting ready for a war against the robots. But I do think that having some extra numbers is going to be pretty helpful for us, so I just think it's really important we start training. We'll see what happens with that. As far as our production, anti-tank rifles, yeah, let's cancel the support equipment for now and start working on this. I do want the support equipment, but I feel like this is something I definitely need right now, so let's just go ahead and start producing it. Every little gun is going to help bring me back up to full strength, and that's got to be worth something. As far as those special divisions, we just have regular special forces. This is only 3 infantry, and we have some power armor here. 10 combat width's pretty good. And then, of course, we have militias. This is not going to be a lot. See, I don't really care about that anti-tank. Still, we'll get some XP. I want to make these infantry a little bit better. It's amazing to me that my power armor divisions are the ones that are the most consistently good right now. They're fairly strong. There's tool procurement plus some construction basics. That's going to be great. We're going to go down the bottom path since we do have access to some better tech. So let's go for some production efficiency of the way, plus some additional construction speed. Pardon, hang on, did I choose the wrong? There we go. Apparently I had the wrong thing selected, but yeah, more construction speed, always going to be good. Want to make sure that we get some factories up and a-running. Get the civilian economy going probably first. And then after that, we'll kind of see how things go. Demand some tribute from... We must pay tribute to... Painted Rock. How strong are you guys probably going to be? Raiders? They're not very strong. How much do I have to pay them? I think I'm going to pay tribute, because if it's just bottle caps, I don't care. That said, I don't know what kind of stuff you're talking about. Let's go for an investment in small business that gets me a 20% boost in our construction speed for now. Got an achievement, the art of haggling, don't care. That's the Ohm's Law for some extra research speed. Don't want to go for the next one yet, but I will take the reinforced speed plus some coordination to make it easier to fight against some peoples. So we're going to get this. Then I think I'm going to go ahead and start working on some war goals. Take a little time. But that's fine. What kind of laws do we start with? We have senior knights, no outsiders allowed, no undesirables, no mutants. Military academy officers and military academy training. Okay, a lot of wars starting over there. Wasteland economy, discourage traders, centralized stockpiles, muzzle dissent for resistance target. We have no slavery and no chems. Most of that's probably fine. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Let's recover our might. That's gonna let us start producing equipment a little bit faster. They demand their tribute. I'll give you some bottle caps. I really don't care that much. Bottle caps is one of those things where it's nice to be able to do some little boosts like this, but at some point, I'm hoping we're gonna start producing lots of them. If you can go for a lot of conquest, right, with, can you see the bottle cap economy here? Organization, marketplace. This thing still doesn't work? I swear to God. Anyway, oh cool, you can buy all sorts of stuff using bottle caps. Well, that's interesting. Huh. Anyways, there's supposed to be a way to see the trade and the centers of trade, but everything's changed in the UI, and I don't totally know where it all is anymore. That's probably fine, though. I don't know, we'll find out. I'm not worried about it, it's gonna be fine. All right, let's jump forward until, oh wait, hang on. Request lower tariffs, change in Vancouver. Nah, we don't care about that. Let's just jump forward a little bit until we finish this national focus, or at least get some additional story. We've got our reinforcement rate, so I'm going to pick up the industry planning for some extra efficiency, retention, and base. That's always good. Plus, I'm going to grab a research theorist who's going to get me some army experience per day, because weirdly enough, in Old World Blues, you still have to research your land doctrines. But you also can spend army experience getting some additional perks to make your doctrines even better. So it's worth getting research speed and getting some army experience. You need both, for sure. So we decided we were going to go for the Scorpion Menace, I think. Watching south, Raider Ingenuity. Just want to double check that I'm not crazy on that. There are some additional factories and stuff to be had if we do this. Gain cores, Doki's Trove. Ooh. That should be kind of fun. But yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for the Scorpions. I think that's going to be easy enough for us to do. 45 days. We should be able to get our war goal of some sort. We'll get claims and a war goal, and then we can just make a beeline for it. They don't have enough troops to even hold their front line right now. So if I can pin them down using power armor and then rush in, we should be able to grab everything. This will end up being a really quick and easy war. A nice way for us to get a good chunk of land. Then I just have to find a way to core the darn stuff. That would be the best thing to do. Oh, I figured out what the extra +5 is for the bazaar, by the way. Apparently it's for some water and some parts, or whatever it's called. Got it. You couldn't see that from the beginning of the game, right? The opening screen, and you're looking at the national spirits, but there it is. So it's just resources. Okay, that's completely fine. No problem. Look how low we are on manpower. Ay, 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 ay. And that's the Scorpion Menace taken care of. Cool. So we can worry about the rest of this later. Do we just want to go ahead and get a core? We could do that. That eventually will lead to some extra workshops and stuff, so having it as a core would probably be wise. That'll only take 15 days. I feel like I might as well. We're going to declare war, take a claim state, and I'm going to micromanage this one a little bit. Let's have you guys push forward. Let's have you guys combine forces. You pin these guys down. And if we can hold that all back and make a push up to, let's say, Rocky Ford and cut these guys off, well, that just makes my life pretty darn easy. Not to mention we're cutting them off from their supply, which makes it a lot easier for me to win these fights. They're not going to have anywhere to retreat, and power armor, whoop, hello, it turns out, is pretty darn good. These guys do not have much in the way of any support, so we're fine there. You help pin these guys down. These guys are now officially cut off. So if we can get these guys fully surrounded and killed, we are going to be good to go. While they're all getting killed, let's see if we can just follow along the railroads. I'd like to take things like Cedarwood. They actually just deployed some more troops, which is a little bit on the scary side. Could deploy some more. Send volunteer. Well, that's apparently gone now. Never mind. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. We just need to crush these people. There's Cedarwood. Traders arrive. Don't really care. Don't know where they all are now. Bit worried about that. If we can get to Bastion, though, this should be easy. Resource gain efficiency, blah, blah, blah. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab some extra monthly population boosters. That's usually a very good thing. I don't need the encryption at the moment. Could work toward, let's say, some mobilization speed and training time reduction. Sure, could be helpful. I'm probably wasting a lot of time trying to kill some of these guys. Hang on, let's get back to Rocky Ford. We have no intel on these guys, and I need to be able to get in here and pin it all off. There we go, looking good. Can you please help pin these guys down and finish them? Never mind. Tell you what, forget it. Let's just make a beeline to places like Pueblo City. Here comes some more troops. Can you get up here and help, please? Yeah, that'll work fine. And more research. Do I want to work toward factory output, or do I want... I hate losing the efficiency growth. I've always hated it. I think we're going to go for work as needed, and that should be okay. So yeah, you get up over here and help me out, please. I need to clear out some groups and make some pushes, and like, soon. Okay, we've got Bastion. I just need to get up to Pueblo City. Unfortunately, not a lot of supply here means we move pretty darn slowly. Hey, you were supposed to get up here to Cedarwood and not abandon that fight. What are you doing? Can you basically just hold out on Rocky Ford? I don't want them retaking any of their victory points. The lack of intel is going to become a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Let's pick up some more civilian factories. Come on, finish these guys off. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, guys, you can do this. Hurry up. Okay, here we go. This is looking a little bit better all of a sudden. Now we're punching through. We get over here to Bastion, and... come on. Just need to finish you off. Come on. Power armor at least is fast, which is great. Hey, where'd you get Mountain Wilson up over there? Oh, there we go. Scorpion's Bite's gone. All right, so that wasn't too bad. Let's go ahead and take everything, and we will submit those demands, and I'll just annex it outright. Mount Wilson apparently isn't something I can take, but that's fine. Confirm and exit. We eat all this territory. Beautiful. All right. We have a dispute. Up on a rise overlooking the eastern lands of Walsh, Andrea gazes through a pair of binoculars. Not that there's much to see, though the reports Walsh used to have at least some industry. Most of it hasn't been used for 2 centuries, but that's better than being obliterated by the Great War. Putting the binoculars and handing them to the knight next to her, Andrea turns and starts heading down the hill towards the tent. Pushing open the flap with her power-armored hand and stepping through, she sees the traitor Dan Rivers bent over a physical map laid out on the table, with Proctor Elric sitting down next to him. Any progress? She asks the pair. At her question, the two turn their attention to her. Dan putting on his easy smile while Elric gets up slowly to salute, his face impassive. The proctor speaks up first. Period. Plenty. With Mr. Rivers' connections and our own scouting, we have most important locations planned out. Mostly we have a plan in place. I'd like to ask we don't move the people from the Walsh Steakhouse. They're comfortable there and you won't gain much from moving them. It's one of the largest buildings in town. Andrea asks, why is it an issue to move them? We already dedicated enough men and resources restoring the buildings in town. It's not like they'll be homeless if we move them. Get an event, Sacred Bottles, the sauce. Guys, we're about to find the secret steak sauce. That's about to happen. Steak sauce? Andrea asks, raising an eyebrow inside her helmet. Dan nods and goes on. Yes, ma'am. The people living in that building worship the Sacred Bottles. Have done so for centuries now. Andrea stares at him, speechless. Elric asks in an exasperated tone, can't they just take the bottles with them? They can set up some shrine in the new houses they'll be staying in. Dan shakes his head and taps the mat with a finger. I know these people, Proctor. The bottles are behind glass up on raised platforms. It's some sort of pre-war display. Taking them down from their current locations would be blasphemy to them. Steak sauce, guys. It's steak sauce. Andrea places a hand up to her helmet to think. This isn't that big of an issue, but it seems to have Dan riled up, and Elric is as unconcerned about anyone else as usual. While the Proctor's decision will overrule anything the traitor says, Dan will keep arguing for this if he thinks it's the right thing to do. That will waste time. As strange as this is, it's not something she wants the two dwelling on, so she makes a decision for them. We can gain stability or gain a building slot. Don't move them. We can work around them, gain some stability. Let them worship the secret sauce, guys. Gosh dang it, what? Okay, well, we do have some small issues I need to worry about now. We have the Scorpions, and apparently, these guys are looking to fight back against me. In about a year, they can cause some problems. We can set up some roadblocks. It's gonna slow down my construction speed for 80 days, but we'll get our manpower back that we spend here, and I guess this just makes progress toward containing them? Don't feel like I have much of a choice. We gotta go ahead and do that. Putting down the circle would be so tempting. Just be done with this, but I hate the idea of losing that much stability. And there's supposedly good benefits for trying to get these guys back, but in 11 days, we're about to have some bad stuff happen. Oh, what can you do? What can you do? Lose 100,000 bottle caps? Pardon-moi? This is not possible. No. Okay, anyway. More factories are available. We got one more. We still need some more anti-tank rifles because that's a thing that we apparently have a deficit on. Everything else is kind of optional for the moment. So what we're gonna do right now is go for some extra factories here. After that, now that's taken care of, gain a core on Bastion. That's what I wanna do. We have to have the Scorpions destroyed or fled, though. So the roadblocks are probably one step. It's gonna take us a while to secure the area. We could try to also fight against the robots, but I'll bet you they have a fairly similar sort of event. Yeah, Robot City needs to be secured. This might have something to do with the progress down here. Bastion at 0%, I'll bet you that's what this does. You complete this and you start making progress towards securing the city. Yeah, so can we afford to take on 2 at once, or is that insane? Don't know, but for now, let's go ahead and set up some basic rudimentary defenses against Robot City, and you know what, just be safe. How about against the hang dogs as well? You never know if those little scumbags are gonna do something I don't like. We get the organized agriculture out of the way. That's gonna boost up my population growth. Can't do another one quite yet. Could go for some resource gain, blah, blah, blah. Don't care about that right now. Foundry construction speed. Good if you want to get some spare resources. I think we're getting most of the stuff I care about in industry. Could go for some encryption and stuff. That does give you a slight advantage when fighting against some folks. Could also go for a boost toward like motorcycles and stuff. We could start working toward going for a motorized setup. We're not especially good at that, but it's an option. I kind of like the idea of going for some crowd gear. Maybe we can go for some military police. We start off with a lot of good stuff already researched. That's pretty darn helpful. We're up here to the common energy weapons already. 7 years ahead of time almost. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's go for the crowd gear. We shouldn't take a ton of damage from garrisons as is, but I feel like if we can get these set up, it might be a little bit easier to just preserve our manpower pool. Maybe. I'm pretty sure those are the same as military police. Could be wrong though. It's been a while since I played Old World Blues. Something we could do is spend some of our bottle caps, of which I now have 209,000, so it increases pretty darn quickly. But we could try to, let's say, get some weekly manpower. It's not a lot. 17, very low, but a little bit of extra stuff is nice. It would let me start putting together more troops. I don't know. None of that seems absolutely crucial. Weekly stability, lose some research speed for 100 days, blah, blah, blah. Focus on the internal sphere, not gonna worry about that. Nah, let's save my caps. Let's save my political power for a little bit. We need to figure out what to do with it. I'm kind of, Washington Brotherhood got snagged? Really? Oh, that's interesting. I don't know where they are. It's not the Broken Coast, is it? There's Graven right there. Maybe that is what I'm thinking of. I don't know. Or maybe it's down over here. Oh, there it is, the Washington Brotherhood. Yeah, what do you know? Huh. They got taken by the Yakama Nation. Wasn't expecting that. I've played those guys before. They're pretty fun. So we have our extra factories. I'm gonna start producing some gliders. A little bit of air superiority, even if it's a slight bonus, could be kind of helpful for me. Untapped resources, get more civilian workshops. Pretty helpful. Yeah, let's see, confiscation of resources, all core land is owned by that, blah, blah, blah. Just gets me resources I don't need. Watching south. Fortifies the southern province of HoI4 with an outpost. After January 1st, 2276, so in a few months, we'll be able to go for this, which gets me more production cost reduction for infantry equipment and power armor. And boosts reliability. I mean, that'll be helpful. Or we could try to make a push against the robots and try to take on both simultaneously, which might be a bit crazy. Production efficiency growth, not a bad idea. This would also let me work towards some sort of a research focus. You know, it's between civilian or production. Let's go down production and research. I'm curious. I want to know what's going to happen with all of that. But I do think that this is a good place for me to go ahead and end this video here. So we could go ahead and fight against the robots, try to secure two things at once. Might be a bit of a push on my political power, but we're 46 days before we even set up the roadblocks, and we'll see how much progress that actually makes towards securing this particular city. We'd have to do that for both. Being able to attack the hangdogs on two separate fronts is good, but only if I have enough troops to justify that. So we'll see how our logistics are looking right now. That's kind of one of the reasons I want to go for some production growth. See if we can set up some additional troops and maybe use a numbers advantage to take on the hangdogs, get to Dog City, and then take on Boulder, Colorado, and cure our men. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed and you're looking forward to this little series of Old World Blues. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.